Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to talk about medication, specifically of course medication for ADHD, or rather a better word to use would be treatment for ADHD. Why? Because medication is the only treatment. You know, there are also non-pharmacological, sorry my words get mixed up quite easy, treatments for ADHD as well, like psychotherapy, for example. And also, even in terms of medication, there are different types of medication that are supposed to help you achieve certain goals. And I'll get into that probably. Just give me a second to collect my thoughts. Collected! Now let's get into it. Right, now for me, my medication for ADHD usually has been, the purpose of it has usually been to try and help me increase my ability to focus. So my cognitive abilities. Now this is the thing, there's this idea that I've seen where it comes to ADHD and other neurodivergent conditions like autism and stuff, where when it comes to treatment or medication, it's really a one-way road, you know, like you get treated with the, I've met people who are on the assumption ADHD is the same treatment, the same medication everyone with ADHD is on, which is not true, because like I said, there are different medications for different outcomes. Honestly, it just depends on you as the individual. Like I've said before in previous videos, that when it comes to ADHD and autism, depending on the individual, different areas will become more of a drawback or difficulty or more of an advantage. It depends, because with ADHD as a condition, there are many positives actually that come from it and many drawbacks. So it depends on you. For instance, if you're someone with ADHD who seems to have more difficulties with your impulsivity than you do with your concentration in classrooms or in work, then whatever treatment you have is going to be there to try and help you reduce the impulsivity so you function at your best, because that is the absolute goal of treatment or medication when it comes to ADHD. It's supposed to help you function at your best, because part of the condition is certain parts of your brain aren't doing necessarily what they're supposed to be doing or at the level they're supposed to be doing it. For instance, dopamine, really common and really that seems to be the first go-to for treatment when it comes to ADHD, is stimulant medication, which is supposed to help increase the dopamine released in your brain, usually to help better attentiveness and a better concentration and things like that. Like I said, with me and my brothers growing up, that was usually our biggest issue. With one of my brothers, it's also tied to his behavior more than it is the rest of us. But all of us have had different levels of a medication, because it's not just the type of medication you're taking and how that's supposed to affect you, but also like the dosage, you know, because it depends. But there's also another side of it that doesn't seem to be talked about too often. What happens if you happen to be someone who really struggles with tablets or medications, say like a phobia? And I'm bringing that up because that's exactly the issue I have most of the time. Now, when I was a kid and I had to take my medication for the first time, it did not go well, okay? There were tantrums, there were times I'd purposely try and forget it. And with ADHD, there is a bit of a drawback with forgetfulness, especially when it comes to something you're not invested in or interested in, or something that even is supposed to be like a common routine for you, and it takes a while for you to get used to it. So even if I wanted to take the medication when I was a kid, I'd wake up in the morning and probably forget that's even there, and I'd have to be reminded. But for me, it's like when I was a kid, I didn't want to take it. I did take it because it was important, and honestly, I'm glad that I did, because in school my concentration was all over the place, and my medication was there to try and help me essentially achieve a better level of focus. And in class, that's what I wanted, so all the information I'd retain easier, and I would do better in tests, that kind of thing. In fact, I've even heard that sometimes people, university students, are known to get, if they can, to actually take medication that's intended for people with ADHD to help improve their focus for exams and stuff, which isn't a good idea, just putting that out there, but still, yeah. Now, but I hated the tablets. The reason why, because even though they were small, I had this idea in my head that I would choke on them. I hated the feeling of them in my mouth. I felt like I could taste them. It was something with the senses, which now, looking back on it, there's some assumption or some debate going on around me that maybe that has something to do with my autism, with my sensory issues, because it's tastes that usually get me, feelings on my mouth that usually disturbed me. Now, when it came to tablets, that's exactly what it was like. I was like, oh, no, I don't want to take it. And in my head, it was like a mental block. I can't swallow it. And there were times I'd have to hide it in my food, in my drink, anything to take it. And even then, I could swear I could taste it. And it caused a lot of issues because there was a lot of going around circles, essentially trying to keep it regular. And there were times that I would come off of it and then go back on it. And I hated the initial side effects, which is usually when you're starting to get used to it, you have like a bit of a stomach ache for a couple of days. But all those things, yeah, came to relevance. I hated medication. I hate tablets. I still do. I can't stand taking them. I tried taking a painkiller, and we realized recently it's a very serious thing, not just a me kind of thing, because I actually threw up when I went to take a painkiller because of the feeling of the tablet in my mouth. But the good thing is, doctors who are there to help you with your ADHD and assign treatments want to help you, okay? And you got to trust them on that level, because I have explained this issue I have with medication, and there are other treatments you have that aren't medication based. Like I said, there's psychotherapy, for example, and I've had counselling and all sorts. Recently I attended those meetings with people, other adults who have ADHD and autism, just to understand myself better. Things like that can be a big help, and personal methods that you develop over time, which I have. But also, the doctors will do their best to try and find an alternative method for you if you're struggling with something like that, because I can't take tablets. I just can't anymore. I've used to because I felt like I had to, and now it's just in my head I can't do it. It makes me feel sick. So we've tried now finding alternatives where it's not a tablet, it's a liquid, or at least a tablet that dissolves really easily in liquid, so it's like not there. And I've managed to get something like that now, which works much better. But that's the thing, because there are alternatives, it depends on you as the individual, what you want to achieve from your treatment, you know? And also, it depends on you as the individual what works best for you. And that's the idea with medication or treatment in general when it comes to ADHD. Now, if you want to know more about that, it's well worth a look at taking, it's well worth it taking a look at the NHS ADHD advice website, you know, to check out on their treatments and like different options, or look it up, or look on like some videos of people with ADHD who probably talk about it and say, well, I do this, I got this, and so on and so forth. It's useful. And like I said, it depends on you. My dosage from my tablets has changed, as well as the actual kind of treatment I'm getting has changed throughout the years. For my brothers as well. It's not a lifetime thing, you know, you're a kid or an adult with ADHD, they go, here you go, this will do this, take that, you're sorted. It's not that simple. It's a little more complicated, but depends on you, what you want to do. So anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say about treatment for ADHD. And if you liked the video, then please, you know, follow, leave a like, comment, questions in the comments, request future videos, any thoughts, opinions, you know, maybe put your idea of treatment or personal experience maybe with treatment in reference to ADHD in the comments. That'd be cool. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and repost the video. Aside from that, have a great night or day wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Till then.